Sup everyone, this is Solid Snack James Morton popping in for the last game of the PC20 event. I'll probably take a table that isn't um, in the top here, but let's see here who we've got going. Table 1 for Dan. Um, Looks like he's taking the Tom Struther, Matthew Harrison Trainer game. How about we switch into the Chris Hall game, so table 3, and I'll wind up streaming that. So Joker King is a known map and court player, and I think that was what he kind of powered himself into a Game PC finals for. And again, yeah, hopefully everybody's in check and hear me and so forth. Let me also make sure that I am posting this on the GIMP lobby as well. Um, but he's obviously doing pretty well in this tournament, table 3 here, so. Alrighty. And brb1097 here, and this one is Brett Bailey. He's playing Qui-Gon Communing, which isn't known for space here, so this might be a type of game where Joker King, who can be an aggressive player at times, would be better served playing the space that Map is known to have here and see what he can do to win out. All right. All right, let me just post really quickly just so people know that I'm actually streaming a game here, which is fun. All right, so Joker King. Joker King pops down Lieutenant Dofel Nikita, who is free. Isn't that great that he is free? And he gets the system out here. So I watched a game earlier today with Chris Kelly, who got nothing out turn 1. So this is really great for Joker King to get some activation here. He'll want to get his systems out, I think, because Qui-Gon Communing, although uh, I don't know what Brett is playing in particular, but Qui-Gon Communing is typically not the deck that will be contesting space here. So I think it would behoove Joker King maybe even to keep the Kylo shuttle alone at one of the systems here, depending on how aggressive he wants to play things. So, we might see something like Hanchu and the Falcon or something like that in the commuting deck, but I would not be expecting too much more than that here. Kylo himself can be a little aggressive here, depending on exactly what sort of that tricks that Brett or that Joker King has here. I mean, I would think that he's got a barrier here. That's or at least he's bluffing it with the one force here, which is nice. But Kylo by himself versus a Jedi sometimes can be a little tough. Not to mention if he gets, hit and even barely loses the battle, you can take additional force loss here. One thing that I'm sure Joker King is aware of is these decks play a lot of Luke Skywalker, The Last Jedi, um, and that is one of the reasons that Joker King goes down early to the site here because Last Jedi cannot deploy to a site an opponent occupies. So I know he was talking about this in map in one of his deck tech videos, saying that hey, if you think that your opponent is playing a lot of Last Jedi, that you want to get to the site early so that you're not going to see Luke coming down to that site as a result. General Leia Organa, by the way, is the Resistance agent, so it was something that was revealed at the beginning of the game here. So not Luke retains all of his immunity to attrition as a result of that, which is nice. So last game of the PC20 tournament, which is kind of cool. I know that we've got the top 3 tables covered here. So let's post the multi-Twitch out here as well in the chat in case you want to see and multitask live here. Thanks for being with us. It was a bit of a long day for people who've been involved in the full tournament. It started at 7 a.m. in the morning, and what now? It's I think it's close to 11 here on the East Coast. The only time that matters for some people, right? But yes, kind of finishing up with the last round here. Depending on how things go, I do think there's a chance that Brett and or jokerking Chris Hall could potentially sneak into the top 4 here, which is nice. So we'll see how we'll see if the results are ever in their favor here. So what have we got going now? Joker King has the finalizer down with General Hux. General Hux is really nice, being able to give a destiny boost to nearly all of his characters, although sand on the table here is kind of tough for General Hux because sand will kind of negate that. Kind of joked earlier that Joker King Chris Hall likes to leave a the stinger at Nalhutta here, and I feel like that's a little bit of what's happening with Kylo Ren here. I'm sure he's looking into a barrier, um, but something like Qui-Gon Serene Jedi could be like really bad news for Kylo alone there. It is a little bit of a bait though, if he's even got like a Gick in his hand, if his opponent comes down with something, Map is one of those decks that can string together a hand very quickly. Interesting, I don't see a second system out just yet. I wonder if he is. Um, Yeah, he needs the Emperor on Exegol first. Probably more important to set up his space drain than to get the Emperor out. Usually it's something. Ooh, that is a sneaky, sneaky card. Always thinking with their stomach here. So this is going to cancel the drain, and he has drawn enough destiny to make Luke missing. Let me go and explain the missing rules a little bit because I think it's been a while. So big plug for our advanced rulebook here. So what he needs to do is he needs to put some guys at the site. He's going to add 1 for every character and 2 for every scout. If you've got a scout there, I don't think he's playing any scouts in this deck. But if he has scouts, he would be able to add additional items to that Destiny, and he's able to force drain, I believe, in the same turn with those people, but he isn't able to move for battle, and he needs to get like a total Destiny greater than 5 to find Luke. Anyway, that's a total pain of and a total win for um, Chris here, and you could see that he was packing the barrier that I had anticipated him playing here. And so let's see, we got Mace and Yoda, so you can see why I was a little worried about Kylo here. All by his lonesome. But it was probably a pretty good guesstimate that with a barrier in hand and with Brett only having 5 cards, that Chris had enough to handle what was being thrown at him. So that was a great turn from him. You know what's great? He'll be able to stack. Are you always thinking with your stomach? Using his objective now. And that would be a nasty card to play later. Probably forcing a shield from Brett Of course, he might have other cards in his hand that go to the lost pile that he would be able to stack as well. Uh, yep, that would increase Kylo's power, and yeah, I mean, we force a shield here to prevent always thinking with your stomach from being played once more from the start from the effect. So there we go, good drain of 2 here from Jakku. And with the 6-card hand from jokerking, I'm not sure exactly what he'd be looking to do. Um, I'm not sure what sort of uh, if he's got some sort of backup, I mean that's fine. I mean I think what your dream hand would be here is probably, and he hasn't used the Hux pull, so he might be able to get it. Is the FN2199 that would be able to cancel lightsaber destiny draws with other stormtroopers, and then the guy that cancels the text. There's another card that might be really good. Sniper Dark Strike is another good out for the situation. Um, so he's got a draw better than 7. Let's see what he can get here. Phasma is a 3. Remember, these draws are +1 if they're first order characters um, or first order starships, and that's 8, and that's enough to hit him. So all of a sudden, that went from something that looks like a little bit of a scary situation to uh, for a scary situation for Chris to a advantageous situation for him. And I would think that now it's a better idea for Chris to stack that Dark Strike is probably something that's going to be a little more helpful here. There you go. There's the Stark Strike on the effect, and that makes Kylo an additional power +1. And I think he's looking to beat down Yoda here. Let's see what he's got. Min Kainu is a useful card. Probably Kier is like a little bit better because he would be able to get Min, but the additional shield pull is going to be fun. And let's see if he's got any other backup here. He's got only 4 cards in his hand, so I mean, like if he's got like a Snoke or something, or Phasma would be good. There you go. Hey, Phasma, look at that. And I think he would be able to use. I don't think he's used his Hux pull yet. Hux would be able to get another Stormtrooper here. All right, now he's looking at a lot of damage here. And I would think that Brett would need to pull something off of sand in order to accommodate this battle here. And thanks for being with us. I hope happy birthday to the PC. Um, and hope everybody is enjoying their Saturday night here. Interesting. Let me see if he's used Hux or not. That would be kind of. Yeah, no, he did take Phasma with Hux. I'm sorry. So that was something that he already did here. Phasma gave him a used pile pull. It would be interesting to know what he pulled with it. But um, I think this will still be a pretty decent battle here. Brett's only got a 2-card hand, which is really tough, and he's not showing good board position with Luke being lost, and a Destiny 7 will certainly do the trick here. He's even got to pay to draw his Destiny here. 4 could be worse, could be better. And that's what, staring down 12 battle damage, not to mention Kylo's doing a couple. Phasma can retrieve, but I don't think there's anything in there. It's gonna look, at least. Should be always thinking with their stomach and accelerate. And now Min. So Yoda is joining the ranks of the fallen Jedi, and he's peeling 5. Rey, Mace Windu, Rebel Leadership, Clash of Sabers, Alter Friendly Fire. Yoda's a tough one because he can teleport to any Episode 1 battleground, so it would be something that he could have potentially retrieved back at some point, or if he's got a second copy, he could deploy it to the Jedi Council chamber and port him over here, or something that he can get to another battleground for, maybe do some damage at the moisture farm on an ongoing basis. I mean, he's in a tough position with 2 cards in hand and coward out and so forth, but it is certainly an interesting play seeing him stack there. And makes me think he's only got 1 copy of him potentially. So, and we'll see what happens. He's got to replenish his hand here. He's only down to 2. And Chris Hull is in a really good position here where he'll be able to drain for 4 and stack another card on map. And you can see his aggressive strategy really paid off. You know, if that if Brett had the canceller for barrier and got through with Mace, that could have been some bad news for Kylo, and really set Chris back a bit here. Although in some sense he had the Dark Strike he could have potentially played in battle, but it could have been something that would have been a much better position for Brett here. But the fact that he went early to the Tenel Village and prevented Luke Skywalker from ever being there, and in fact wasted kind of Luke Skywalker by making him lost, just like the movie is, right? Uh, it's really good for him. So you can see his aggressive approach paid off in this situation. I feel like there's a lot of times where I wind up battling turn 2, battling turn 1, and I just get terrible destiny draws, and things don't go my way here. But again, yeah, just because of the fact that he went so early to the village here means that he won't see Luke Skywalker, and again had the opportunity to make him lost here. I mean, even if Luke Skywalker's like not lost and he's just hanging out at the farm over there, he would need some sort of transportation to get over to Jakku to really influence the battles here. And so you're still talking about another big expenditure of force getting over there. Not to mention some of those interrupts could be canceled and stuff. So, I think again, the strategy, however you want to slice it, it was something that really worked for Chris Hull here. And then he should be in pretty good shape here. What I would imagine we would see now is the Emperor going down to the throne room here. He's something that you can wind up deploying from the reserve deck if he's there. And that'll help him out with some battle bonuses, not to mention get some cards in his hand. Um, Although he can start stacking a ton of things from Lost Pile and start to play those. So um, uh, that'll be a little bit of a card advantage that he can have here. So as if we're on the same wavelength here, he's pulling the Emperor Returned, and he's gonna sit on his throne there in Exegol and force lightning lots of things in the space and build crazy starfleets, I guess. I don't know what he does over there. Looks like he's having fun though. I always think that this picture in behind there is the Dagobah Cave picture, the diamond site, the space slug belly. I wonder if somebody can confirm that for me or deny it, but that's what I think it is there. But graphics has done a great job with a lot of this stuff here. In fact, you might even notice a little bit of tweaks here to the images there. I think some of this like fire here has been like updated a little bit. Looks a lot cooler. Maybe that's purely speculative on my part here. Alrighty, so we've got Snoke hanging out with Phasma and Kylo at the Tunnel Village. Um, Chris is moving the finalizer to the car and really only activating force there. It's a kind of cool mechanic, moving your starships there. You can activate force. So that's something he'll be doing every couple turns just to get additional cards in hand, be able to deploy more stuff. He's got 30 cards in Life Force here, so he should be doing that to his heart's content. Really doesn't matter where the finalizer is. It's going to drain +1 on either site here. They just came out with an interesting new system in V18 that suspends Menace Fades. Menace Fades can be particularly harmful to map because map relies on a lot of force drain bonuses to push control phase damage through. I used to have a blaster build, which I've got one loaded up in my decks, but that's not common these days. So this is the more standard build, but I would be interested to see if people played the other system. It's called like Hosnan Prime or something like that. It could be potentially a drain of 3, although these days there's so much resistance going on that it's not probably useful there, but it could be something that suspends Menace Fades for people, which is again, something that really would cut into the damage output of map here. Imperial Barrier. I saw Chris Kelly play Imperial Barrier, I think 5 times in a game earlier today, which is fun. So he plays second in the Group A, which is good for him because he will be moving on to the top cut over the next couple days. Well, if you're talking about stuff to change the course of this game, Leia's blaster rifle is probably Exhibit A. Is such a swingy card. So let's see what happens with that. Excuse me. Unfortunately, at this point, I think Chris would have access to a lot of cards that would be obnoxious here, and um, potentially, uh, potentially somebody like FN 2003 that would prevent firing of weapons could be really bad. So Brett battles here. He's down 9 in power. I assume he's got some battle tricks, or this is kind of like a last-ditch effort to do something here, because it doesn't offhand look like it's a winning move. One of the nice things about map is that weapon control there between FN 2003 as well as the I'll finish what you started there to cancel weapon destinies. Uh, it's becomes difficult even to hit their stormtroopers. Also adding to Kylo's power there. So I'm not sure exactly. Uh, Again, sometimes just you have a couple cards in hand, and certainly another couple rounds of drains would probably put it into a really desperate time here. So um, yeah, not battling when Leia's are barriered here is probably not uh, the best for Brett here, but um, again, yeah, desperate times call for desperate measures. So yeah, Kylo's going to do 2 damage. I think it's just General Kenobi, which is pretty good, all things considered. Um, the Dead Speak is really awesome because it just adds attrition, the same side as Kylo, Snoke, or Rey. Obviously, it's got Kylo and Snoke here. General Kenobi gets stacked on commuting. Probably Snoke leaves here, I think. Kylo is going to be power +3 until the remainder of turn, so it's He's setting up for a counter beat that may be um, a little difficult, but we'll see. I mean, certainly Liz Blaster Rifle is a fearsome one, you know. Let's say he gets a good draw and hits Kylo here. Um, then all of a sudden, that uh, stack that he's dealing with doesn't look so bad. Joker King plays the shuttle interrupt. Um, Potentially the deal of a long day here. He could have played that before he activated to get the shuttle if he really wanted to. Probably would have been a good idea, I think, here, he would get Destiny to power at the site, and the other thing that's nice about it is uh, it wouldn't be something that Brett would be able to easily hit with any sort of weapons and whatnot. So, uh, showing the class of Joker King's hand here, he puts down Captain PV. He's kind of scraping from the bottom of the barrel as far as his hand goes, but at this point, I think that the game is well in hand for him based on these tournament events, and that additional overflow should be just fine. I think at the end of the day, it would probably been better if he deployed the shuttle and Captain PV, but um, again, yeah, I think at this point, this game should probably end on this battle. If it doesn't end on this battle, it's pretty close to completion after this. I don't think I have a ton of viewers, but for anybody who just joined a little late, yes, Luke Skywalker is missing on Tatooine somewhere. Always thinking with your stomach. He just got too hungry and went to go look for some food and never came back. Sad part about this is if Joker King has a interrupt in hand, this Destiny gets canceled anyway. Now that I think about it, so maybe that blaster rifle isn't as scary as I thought initially. So there you go. And there looks to be the GG from Brett. So certainly a good tournament for Brett, getting all the way up to table three. Um, uh, and obviously a great tournament from Chris Hull here. Took a little bit of break from Star Wars cards just to um, I think in between some majors and stuff like that. But I think notably he missed the Gem PC, which he won last year, which was really great. But hopefully, after placing really high in the OCS playoffs and making it through there, another good showing for him. And I think he's on the cusp, if not in the top four. I'm sure Taco Bill will let you know what's going on there. So why don't we hop in another stream? Let me see where the top tables are real quick here. Kyle Kruger, just shy. Let's move into his game if he's around. Doesn't. Yes, there we go. Looks like this is being streamed here, so let me pop out of that. Let's see here, table five. Let's go to Mike Pistone, fellow Kashyyyk, um, fellow Kashyyyk player. At least in northern Connecticut here. I'm in western Connecticut, so here we go. Stunning move versus QMC. I'm pretty sure I played this QMC fairly recently. Um, QMC, I think, is a really good deck. I know some people were talking about whether, I think Robbie was talking about Ancient Watering Hole as being a tough one to set up, but I think the deck is pretty resilient and is almost as if it never battles. I think it does really well, to be honest. So one of the key things is the system. I think they're like vulnerable to the system for like a couple turns. But then once they get set up, it's like really tough to beat them. They're going to get a Destiny to power with the Overseer. Sometimes they get a Destiny to power with Hanchu and the Falcon. They get plus Destiny with all of their pilots and smugglers on the wild card. They'll play Ray a lot, which kind of does the same thing as the smuggler on the wild card. And then Kendall waxed poetic about this lady here, um, and her ability to cancel drains here, which is really annoying. Not to mention just is a total pain for court for and other alien decks that need to have droids around to kind of get around her texts. So we'll see what's going on. I mean, certainly as far as things are concerned, um, it's helpful that MythLotR. Let's see here. I don't know him often. Ben Hedlund. He's on the right site here. Unfortunately, can't use it to cancel force trains where aliens are, because of the backside of QMC. But certainly a lot of cool stuff. Certainly Adrena 2 that's going on there, which is really nice. So, but he will find that Ancient Watering Hole probably is going to do a ton of damage to him, and he would probably need to get. I mean, it gets to the point where the system is just like so difficult to unseat. It like probably won't happen, especially with Celebration going on. We've got um, 14 power, Destiny to power, Battle Destiny +2, plus any other sort of wacky text that comes on. Obviously, if like Solo goes up there, all of a sudden you're getting 2 Battle Destiny, and it's just really difficult to beat that. And then like the retrieving for Celebration, this guy retrieves stuff, which is kind of crazy. And then like this guy, the Keeper of the Force, is like make sure that like you never actually like truly get blown out in the space. And like eventually gets to the point where it's like, oh, I don't mind if I forfeit some dude that's forfeit 7 up here, and like that's what I'm doing every turn to keep Celebration going on. Or Ancient Watering Hole or something. Because Watering Hole will add to your drains at every site actually, as long as you have a 5 species on table. So it's just your Force Ranger +1. Like it doesn't, you don't have to have an alien there. Like this guy is fine. Getting a total +2 Battle Destiny at that site because Maz is a specific exception. But even if like Yoda was over like on Coruscant here, he would still get like the drain +1. So lots of cool stuff going on. So yeah, I think Ben here is gonna probably realize that he's going to want to um, find a way to do some battle damage here. I would also think that Mike Pistone has a ton of evasion. Not to mention you can find just about any card in his deck here. So this does not look good offhand for a stunning move. But we'll see. Interesting he's using the Darth Tyrannus instead of the Count Dooku. Count Dooku can obviously use Force Lightning, which is useful if you're drawing Destiny 9 blasters or something like that. Otherwise, I kind of like Darth Tyrannus. I had him in a Sonnet deck that he can cancel and redraw. He's a lot like the Luke Last Jedi here, which is kind of cool. Even the Sorry About the Mess is kind of neat as well. So that blaster proficiency combo card is something that won't be able to get him off the table. That combined with Crush the Rebellion means that like he's not going to be removed from battle midway, which is kind of neat. There's not a lot of people that you can do that with. So we'll see. I wonder if he's playing Super Ball though. Super Ball is the way to go, right? He's cancel blaster deflection, all that cool stuff. Probably if he's got Tatooine Ball, um, that might be an answer in space for like, the short term here. But we'll see. I think again that system's going to be really tough to tough to beat. It's paying for drains. Whatever card he found in his used pile, Mike Pistone did not want him to get. He paid the 2 force to lose, or lost 2 force to place the card in the used pile. And now he pinged for 1, and he might do another drain here of 2. And lay Rebel Princess cancels that drain. That'd be a drain of 3 now I think about it. No, it would be a drain of 2. He's got a lot of cool stuff on. Oh, Menace Fates. I knew there was something that was preventing that from being a drain of 3 over here. That's another reason that system is going to be really important in this matchup if Menace Fates can't get turned on. Then that's something where Ben can up his damage. I mean, it's just, you know, it's probably the biggest reason to play 2 theaters in some sense, these 2 cards. Battle Plan having to pay for 4 strains, and then Menace Fates kind of take all of your 4 strain bonuses away. Savage Oppress. That's a character you don't see that often. But he got updated, which is kind of cool. He gets Rebel Barrier. Wonder how many he's running in his deck, actually. I'd be surprised if he's got like 2 or 3 of those. I think we've seen some decks run up to 4 of them, which is kind of crazy. But QMC is something where they can avoid battle like all game. There's like very rarely do they lose that. So against the last game of the PC 20 event, which is kind of cool. And lots of good prizes on. It's 20 years of the PC, which is kind of cool. So happy birthday to them in some regards. So that Chris Hull was at 5-1 now. So I think he just needs one of Joe, MHT, and David Woods to lose. David Woods is a good guy. I seem to play him a ton in the OCS. Ben is conceding here, it looks like. And for good reason. The board state doesn't look that great here for him. So as I was looking it up, Joe and David Woods are playing each other. And as a result, I think that means that Chris Hull's in, just straight in. So that's kind of cool. Let's see what we got here for another game. I'm picking ones that end early. I'm not sure if there's one that my loving fans, my adoring fans would like to see, you know? But let's get into another game here. How about, so there's top tables. Oh goodness, Mount You Have Learned. Maybe we should do that. Let's look at Watto. Watto got a decent buff this past game, this past set, and Squirlock's playing um, Watto versus quickdraw here. Quickdraw, I believe, is Justin No, not Justin Carulli. Matt Carulli, one of the Carulli brothers. Most recently, one of the advocates, actually, the technology advocate. I think that is um, Echo Base Trooper. I don't think it was. Um, I don't think it was called the technology advocate beforehand, but that was quick draw beforehand, which is kind of neat. And then yeah, Squirlock we just saw on stream with Jared last game, and he was playing Hyperdrive V, which is near and dear to my heart. Um, and he pulled out a time victory, uh, which is kind of cool. So what do we got here? We've got a lovely Watto deck. Watto's like, I don't know, I never liked Watto. Watto just seems like a pain in the butt to me, but it does do some cool stuff. It does a lot of early damage here. Watto's got a lot of cool things going on. Um, some characters you don't see that often with Sibulba, you know. Um, there's a certain way I'm supposed to say that as a Star Wars CCG player, but I don't exactly know what it is. Um, but at any rate, yeah. So uh, some cool gambling mechanics. Goodness gracious, look at all the Tatooine locations here. It's a little unique here, right? You got the Cantina, you got the Mos Eisley Shovel, you got Mos Espa, you've got the Junkyard, you got the Pod Race Arena, you got the Farm, you got Obi's Hut. Episode 1 Tatooine. What's on here? Tatooine Occupation. You go, Squirlock. So, yeah, you're looking at some pretty rough damage here if you aren't doing anything. So Quick Draw is playing uh, turn 4 here. Looks like they just got off of battle in Tatooine Watto's Junkyard. Seen a lot of Leia today. Obviously, she's got her blaster. It's a good thing to have. Who's on the Blizzard Walker here? Grand Moff Tarkin V, who can add a Destiny right now. The client, huh? It's a good, goofy amount of stuff here. And then Lord Sidious. With Obi communing too, you know? That is not something you see that often. Don't get outpowered as much. Aim high. Seems like it's a fun deck here, actually. Both these look like a fun deck, actually. So glad it will give some of this stuff some coverage. But Matt Carulli would be in a world of hurt if he can't um, clear the site here or deal with Tatooine occupation here. Juana's usually got some like evasion tricks for like turn 1. You could probably see here there's a Zizor's Bounty on the table, which is unique here. So it's not like another one can hit the table, but it's not uncommon that they play multiple barriers, and um, projective telepathy is like always really good at like just getting the job done at canceling battles. I've always found, you know. So I feel like there's so many times where as a CCT player where you're trying to avoid battle turn 2, and now there's a card that actually just cancels a battle if Boba Fett's escorting, which is kind of fun. But um, projective telepathy usually gets the job done. So let's look at all these cool characters that you don't get to see that often, you know. Let's see what's Matt Carulli's doing. Get General Solo coming down to the junkyard. Luke didn't come to the junkyard. I mean, he could have run Luke run, which would be a used interrupt with this cool guy. Which I guess would recycle a 6 for you, so I guess that's a fine play. And a rock, wow. That looks fun. We have a nice AI rock, which I think is Scott Legrell. Stun Blaster, oh man. This looks like some wacky stuff going on here. I think quickdraw is known for loving Stun Blaster, and it is really, really good on this Mandalorian lady here, Sabine. Basically, it says if you ever want to use Stun Blaster, please use it on me, you know. But you know, she just basically plagiarized straight from JotoCast, so I'm not giving her any credit. The JotoCast was the original. I'm going to use Stun Blaster, and it'd be awesome. Guy. So all of a sudden went from a it'll be funny if they put down Tatooine Celebration and have Tatooine Celebration and Occupation going at the same time. But at any rate, oh man, bad feeling about this. Fun card. All right, now this could go from a this is what happens, I think, with a lot of these use pile pulls sometimes. You know, this could go from a pretty uh, interesting scenario where it looks like Matt was not doing so great to now Squirlock is in a bit of trouble. So what's going to happen here? Run as we thought so. So he's coming in. He's going to get a Destiny to Power with Luke. Um, he is going to bounce a character with Sabine. He's going to blow up a character with Leia's Blaster. And he's going to throw a rock. Does rock prevent weapons firing with Han? I totally forgot this. If on a Corellian in a battle just initiated, same side may throw rock. Proxima can't battle. Nope, just power -3. That's all. Doesn't look like he's going to throw the rock as a initial action, but that's fine. He's going to get quite a bit of power bonus here. So he's already up 4. And he will bounce some people back to hand. Probably bounce Aura. Too bad he can't spend a force for Obi communing to add power, which is when I play tested this versus all those lovely bots that used to be, I always forgot to add power. Ooh, brutal. He missed with a stun blaster. It's like kind of hard to do. It is going to be a moot point, I would think, though, because I think that he will have a lot going for him on this site. Still add a Destiny to Power with Luke. That's another blaster I think he would fire. There we go. Aura is hit and forfeit 0. It's been a while since I looked at this, but this thing is a Destiny +2 rather than defense value, so it's really darn good. His blasters have kind of creeped up in power. I think Hans is also a +2 in the fires and control phase, which is great. Stay Sharp, I love that card. I'm always trying to get Stay Sharp to work, but I don't think until Rock actually was a thing that I knew that you could play it on um, ground weapons. Stay Sharp is one of the few cards that cares about whether you're a gunner or not in space. Now all of a sudden, Leia with her blaster is all turned into 27 power, Destiny to Power, and 3 Battle Destiny, so 2 Destiny to power. Because Han gets one too. It's a lot. Ooh, that is a sneaky card too. I've seen some sneaky tech cards on the streams here. I've seen Chewy Protector, I'm sorry, Chewy Enraged slot in the decks recently. Um, man, he was a fearsome card. I feel like if you get him in the right situation, he can just absolutely wreck everything. There's rocks popping up. This, oh, Wookiee Strangle, nice. Alright, I love this deck already. I'm not sure how he did with this deck, but it looks like he did really well with this deck. At least this one game that I'm playing. We're watching. 48 power, huh? And I think the battle damage is what doubled here, so I mean this is like decking territory. Even with a good draw. Sabine makes him lose too. And yeah, without a Gick here, it is game. Because you're looking at 97 overflow. 97 overflow. You only have 60 cards in your deck. Dang, is what Squirlock says, and I wholeheartedly agree. 97.5 battle damage. So if you had 97 cards in your deck, not 98, you would lose. This is one of those times where, like, if I didn't have the Gick, I would literally just sit down and peel all the cards I've had, you know? Drop them all. But there's the Gick. Well, I'm not sure what's going on from here, but I'm still liking Matt Carulli's position. What would Mr. Squirlock want here from his... Oh, not just 97. 97.5. So yeah, what would Mr. Squirlock want here from his deck to get out of this one? So Steven Squirlock. Conceptually here, I would do my best to like not ever have to touch ground again. Yes, that would be the other thing I was thinking about. No escaping your Gick back in the hand. Because I would be worried about getting overflowed once again. Squirlock is running 2 systems, so I would think that he's got some space. There's a good chance that Matt Curley's not got space. So what I would wind up doing here is, gosh, I'd be really worried about that Sidious, especially with the Cantina Shuffle and other stuff that Matt might do. But like for now, it might not be so bad to have Sidious sit around the Cantina. Um, just because Matt's only got a 3-card hand. But yeah, I would conceptually start loading up in space. Try to do some damage there, maybe satisfy battle order for a couple turns and eke out some damage that way. But as soon as Matt starts drawing additional cards here in the hand, then you're starting to worry about um, some sort of 97 battle damage battle that you may have to deal with. Um, so yeah. That said, using that Gick there is like not terribly bad for the ultimate board state here. But again, it's going to be a little bit tough here since everything's on Tatooine. It's almost like, if he had like a diamond sight he could deploy to Malastare, that would be like the best thing that's going on. But like, I would also think that Matt Carulli would have like a nade run at this point too. Anyway, it's not like he's not doing uh like chump damage here. He's doing two at the junkyard, so it's an appreciable amount. And Squirlock's only doing four right now with Tatooine occupation and stuff, so it's not like, I think that would give Matt time to set up with things. And it's unlikely that he'll be drawing with Ray into cards that like he could immediately this turn right around and beat Sidious with. But like starting next turn, I would start worrying about the content of Matt's hand for something that could come down and beat Lord Sidious into a pulp. One thing to note is the bad feeling card, which is canceled by bad feeling have I. Han is the one that triples the battle damage. So if you're wondering why, it was 97 cards. It was, yeah, about like 30 battle damage, and then you triple that, and all of a sudden things get out of hand really quick. But it's only doubled, only doubled using that card for everybody else essentially. So let's see here. Matt Carulli's got Leia now at the Mos Espa site. It's threatening total drain of 5 here, but having to pay for battle plan is something that is difficult. And it's 9 force, and then you're not really doing much else. Unfortunately, the wacky decks such like as this won't really give you a ton of probably won't have a lot of space here. Interesting playing two different layers there. Oh, I forgot that Watto only allows you to drain for one on the front side here. Watto's an objective that I've never played, and even though I've thought about it a couple times, I don't think I will ever play. There's just some ones that I just don't like that I probably should deal with and actually play because I'm sure there are instances where it's good, but as a hyperdrive player, I'm like, no, I'll never play Watto. I'm sure it's fine. It's a great turn one. You plan to put down a lot of stuff and battle and it looks good, and then all of a sudden, turn 2 or 3, especially if they come down with some crazy stuff, all of a sudden it doesn't look so great. Speaking of crazy stuff, Fett on crack, I'm not sure if they still call him that, but Boba Fett Bounty Hunter is really good. And you can see he's getting 3 Destiny here, so if he's lined up something good, um, Matt might have to peel some cards. Lord Maul with Lightsaber is a good card. No Sith Fury for it, sadly. Probably what you expect from Watto Battle Destiny there. It gets a 10 total. So facing down, definitely some battle damage here. That will not be good. In fact, yeah, without a Jedi Lev, Squirlock doesn't have to lose anything, and I probably wouldn't. He could optionally peel Boba Fett there, but 10 battle damage, and there's a, even though 10 seems paltry compared to 97.5, that still probably would have been a GG if he had to peel it. So Squirlock could move in front of Leia. That's a risky proposition with all those fives in the deck. And he doesn't move in front of Leia and says, if you want to drain for 4, you can pay for it. Which is good, but it's expensive, and I'm not sure he's starting to get into territories where, well, at least I think the stuff that he has to put down is pretty cheap. But it's starting to get into the territory where you pay for drains and you won't be able to do a lot else. So we'll see. Certainly been an entertaining game. Glad I clicked on it. We'll be communing and such. OB Commuting doesn't see the normal play that we see for the other ones, so I'm glad to see him actually show up in a tournament of significance here. Um, some kind of cool stuff. Just brutal character restrictions, I think, is their big deal. But adding the total power is kind of neat. You can deploy battlegrounds related to the location you have on table. So obviously, starting with Tatooine, you can get a lot of cool stuff. Um, you could potentially play like a docking bay puller and then use that to get um, additional battleground sites related to the docking bay. Um, so there's a couple builds you could potentially do with it to get out other stuff. And then the other big one is the Obi-Wan commuting. You can subtract 2 from a just drawn permanent weapon destiny, which is kind of neat. So there we go. Good blaster at your side. That changes the math a little bit here. Oh boy, Chewie and Rage. Look at that. The two big, the two big, uh, the two big uh, maintenance guys, you know, that just add crazy stuff. Now, Chewie will probably be with Leia here. What's a little scary here is I don't know what he's looking to do here, but Sidious, therefore, because of the Cantina shuffle here, um, at least Sidious can be battled. But he can exclude people, so I guess it's not as um, worrisome here, now that I think about it. So he's got the perfect character to hold down the Cantina here. Not to mention the Empress and Force are going to just cancel freaking text, you know? A lot of text canceling going on here. Chewie can cancel text. Empress and Forcer can cancel text. There's a rock. Yeah, I guess, you know, it has its roots in the Solo movie and stuff, but kind of like a joke thing if you think about it, you know? Like, you throw a rock against the freaking Dark Lord of the Sith, and yeah, you hit him, and he's like just half of his battle power, you know? Look at that. He's battling with Chewie alone here. So what's his deal? This does not look offhand like a battle that he can win, but I'm sure he has something, right? I think Leia can move as a racked. Stay sharp. Really cool. Fire starship weapons. Add a fired weapon, or if you just fired a weapon battle, add that weapon's destiny number to your total power. Oh, Wookiee Strangle. There we go. There's the key card. I think it requires a decent destiny from quickdraw here and a not good destiny from Squirlock. I don't think that's getting it done. No, it is getting it done. 9 and 2. Oh, yeah, because Vader's power was -3. There we go. Success. Now that is a deck that is awesome. Not only did we see a 97 battle damage battle, but we saw Rock and Wookiee Strangle combo. Matt's still in a pretty good position here. He's got good blaster at your side, which is great. Um, and I think he's looking to out damage Mr. Steven Squirlock here, although now we're starting to look at cards going out of the reserve deck. So as I mentioned, you could Cantina Shuffle over, but Lord Sidious here is somebody that can exclude a character. So what are you looking at if you're Squirlock here? I mean, you still got occupation damage. As I mentioned, it's probably a good idea if he's got another ship here to deploy to Malastare. Up his damage a little bit here. I'm not sure if he's got like characters he could deploy potentially to the moisture farm to give him more Tatooine occupation damage. I mean that's what you're really looking at here, but I'd be treading very lightly with like everything now. Um, Potentially like another Wookiee Strangle here would be like pretty bad. But I mean like Matt Carulli's got to be running out of options here, right? I mean, like, you only got so many Wookiee Strangles and stuff like that in the deck, right? I mean, not everybody plays Wookiee Strangle, so. At any rate. Ooh, Force Push would have been an interesting card to hold onto, just to remove Sidious from battle. I could see some cases where, like, Matt Carulli plays, like, a bunch of stuff, and then all of a sudden you exclude him from battle, and away you go. But the other play right here is that's a good amount. Good. That's a decent showing of cards here actually to put down against quick draw. So he's got Watto, Greedo, which will prevent Sabine from firing, and P59. And Justin Curley gets no battle lesson here. I think that just hits Han here. Just hits Han. Really, the one he's got to hit is Sabine, unfortunately, though. I mean, like, I guess it really depends on exactly what he's got in his hand, but I would think that Sabine bouncing. Oh, Quickdraw ran out of time. I didn't even notice that there was that much in Steven Squirlock's favor, but that is the end of that on time. Obviously, had lot to think about, more actions and so forth. And depending on what he had in his hand here, you can still battle back into this and bounce P59 pretty easily with Sabian here. So I would think that um, isn't in bad shape here to continue on with that game. But sadly ran out of time there. So okay, I think there's two games left. I would imagine that my colleagues have those streams. So I will sign off for the night. Hope everybody enjoyed. If you catch us again on the PC's YouTube channel, hope you've enjoyed as well. Uh, and don't hesitate to reach out to SWCCG.org. Lots of good content. Obviously, go on GEMP here to play tons of games here. GEMP.StarWarsCCG.org. Free to play, awesome, fun. All the best. Hope everybody's enjoyed the PC 20 tournament, and congratulations to the PC on 20 years of existence. All the best, everyone. Bye.